A man is charged now with a hate crime for racially abusing Black neighbors. Maryland man charged with a hate crime after allegedly yelling racist slurs at Black neighbors, then kicking and attempting to headbutt cops as they arrested him. We have the details for you. There's the perp's mugshot. Maryland man charged with several offenses, including a hate crime after he allegedly targeted his Black neighbors in 2 different incidents, took place within weeks of each other. According to Charles County deputies, 50-year-old Michael Gerard Benedict was arrested for 2 separate incidents that took place April 4th and April 28th. April 4th, deputies were called to Benedict's neighborhood to respond to a dispute with 2 of his Black neighbors, according to charging documents cited by the Southern Maryland Newsnet and the Longview News Journal. The victims told responding officers that Benedict, who is white, yelled, "You stupid ends," and "ends with big lips" at them when they arrived home. Benedict then allegedly threw sticks and other objects into their yard while shouting that he would burn their house down with them inside. Very serious. When deputies located Benedict, he admitted he was involved in an argument with his neighbors and may have used a racial slur and made a comment about burning their home. So you've acknowledged a crime, a threat, terrorist threat. He told deputies he was upset because of loud music blasting from their home and their motion-activated security cameras, which he said were always sounding off. It's always the same argument. Blacks are too loud and their music. If he had been blasting these neighbors, I don't know if they were blasting music or not, country western star, would he have been upset? I don't know. And maybe that's stereotyping. I'm just telling you, it's always the blacks are too loud. And I had to act. Benedict was charged with making threats of arson for the incident. His neighbor petitioned for a peace order that prohibited Benedict from making contact with or harassing him or his family. And a judge approved the injunction April 8th, but only weeks later, deputies were back to Benedict's home after he violated the order. April 28th, the neighbor called local law enforcement to report that Benedict had once again started yelling the N-word and other insults at him and his family when they arrived home from an outing that day. Victim reported that he feared for his and his family's safety due to their previous encounters with Benedict. Officers arrived, they found Benedict sitting in his driveway. Court documents say the 50-year-old ignored multiple commands police made, then tried to grab 2 officers' firearms and physically resisted arrest. Let's stop there. So they show up. They've been there before. I don't know if it's the same officers responding. They say he tried to grab their weapon. And yet we have a mugshot, not a coroner's report. They are able to take him into custody. Thank goodness no one was killed. A bit strange. I'm just saying, give you more details. Altercation reportedly escalated when Benedict kicked a sergeant, attempted to bite another officer's hand, tried headbutting 2 other officers, charging documents say. When he finally was subdued, taken to a patrol car, he allegedly yelled more obscenities toward the victim's property. He was charged with 3 counts of second-degree assault on law enforcement officers, resisting arrest, committing a race, religion-based crime against a person, failing to comply with a peace order, being held in a local jail without bond. Now that's positive, without bond. It's not like I like for people to be locked up with no recourse, but Yaz, in this case, this is the opposite of the Karens we covered. Why wouldn't this Black family be afraid? Mm-hmm. He has continued it. They followed the proper procedures. Police backed them up, got basically a restraining order. He has a lack of emotional control, cannot comport himself, not even in front of police officers. And this is their home base. This is the structure that they call home. And yet they're living in constant threat and fear. What say you about this one?
Yeah. You know what's scary about this? the thing that stood out to me when I first read the story, like if you saw this man out in public, he is incredibly nondescript. And I think I mean that in a good way. I can't really tell. We'll just say it's like a neutral statement. He's a very nondescript looking man, and he wouldn't, yeah, he's not anyone who would trigger most people's radar. And this audience, I'm sure, knows exactly why that is. But like most people wouldn't look at this man if you walk past him at like a Home Depot or a Lowe's and assume that one, he regularly commits racially motivated hate crimes against his neighbors and he intimidates them and attacks them, or that two, he headbutts cops. Like, what is wrong with people? Get a grip and get a life and just deal with things. Also, the big lips thing. Okay, are you still allowed to use that as a racist insult when so many white women are getting lip injections? It doesn't make any sense to me. And then to your question about if the music wasn't like black music, whatever.
Yeah,
like I do have a neighbor who sits in his garage during the day and he blasts country music down the street, and it's gross. I hate it. The music sucks. But I also I haven't gone over there to yell racist things at him because I'm not a crazy person. I haven't called the cops on him. Because he doesn't do it late at night. And inconvenience and annoyance isn't, at least in my opinion, grounds to get law enforcement involved, except a lot of people really seem to feel as though just because they're annoyed or inconvenienced by something, that is grounds to get law enforcement involved. It makes no sense. But you're absolutely right. Like the most jarring thing about this story is that this man is actively antagonizing his neighbors. He antagonized the cops when they came to arrest him. But he was arrested. He was not killed on site, and we know things would have gone so much differently had things been reversed. And we know that because we cover so many stories like that on this exact show. And also to the point about these people living in fear, this is their home. It's very difficult to move homes, right? This is a place where you set up shop. This is where you're raising your family. This is close to your work, like whatever. There was a reason why you chose to live there. You can't just up and leave, right? So if you have a neighbor who is antagonistic towards you, that really can impede your overall quality of life. If you're living in fear, being at home, which is where you're supposed to feel the most safe and the most secure, that it's really just taking something very, very valuable from people. And it's not fair that he's been able to do that to them.
Yeah, you're so right. And if most people have to go to work, maybe they work from home, but wouldn't feel comfortable leaving my family, my children, whatever. It's very, very, very brutal. It just really is. And it sends shockwaves when you have to deal with this. I hope they get it resolved. We'll continue to follow it. And hold him until we can figure out if this fool can put, he said he did it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call it what it is. You're terrorizing someone, urban terrorism. And they're not able to enjoy quality of life.